Please confirm. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ashok IT. And this is Ashok. Today, we are here to learn Linux OS along with shell scripting. Today, we are here to understand Linux operating system along with shell scripting. Okay. Now, before getting started, so please confirm that you are able to access the video, you are able to see my video, you are able to access, you are able to see the screen, my audio, video. I hope everything is clear for everyone. So please confirm if anybody facing any issue. And to get the updates related to this class, to get the class notes, how to access this classes notes, okay, how to access daily class Zoom link, the process we are going to share in our WhatsApp channel. That WhatsApp channel link I have given in the chat box. Anybody who is attending this class from YouTube, you can find the WhatsApp channel link in this video description. The people who are attending this class in the Zoom chat box, I have shared our WhatsApp channel link. You can click on that link and you can join for that. All right, so without wasting our time, let's get started. We are going to discuss about Linux OS with the shell scripting. Okay. First of all, why we need to learn this Linux operating system and where we are going to use this Linux operating system in the real time. Why to learn Linux? Okay. And real time use cases of Linux operating system, of Linux OS, and what are the prerequisites available to learn this Linux operating system, who are eligible to learn this Linux operating system, and what we are going to learn as part of this free classes. What is our course content? All those details I'm going to explain as part of our today's session. Okay, why to learn Linux OS? What are the real-time use cases of our Linux OS? Where we are going to use this Linux OS in the real time? Okay, and what are the prerequisites available to learn this Linux operating system? And what is our course content? What we are going to learn as part of this Linux OS? All those details we are going to learn as part of this class. Is it clear for everyone? Very good. So first one, why to learn Linux OS? Fine. Every developer, every software developer, irrespective of the technology, and every software developer plus every cloud engineer plus every DevOps engineer, every software developer, every cloud engineer, every DevOps engineer should know Linux OS. Why? Because in the companies, we are going to use Linux machines as part of our project day-to-day operations. In real time, every DevOps tool will be installed on Linux machine only. So when I say every DevOps tool, so here, for example, for every project, we are using servers. Our servers will be installed in the Linux machine and database will be installed in the Linux machine. And every project nowadays using Docker. Docker server is a Linux machine in the real time. And a Kubernetes cluster we are going to set up. Kubernetes cluster we will set up on the Linux machine. SonarQube server we are using to perform the code review. That SonarQube server we are going to install in the Linux machine. We are using Nexus server for artifacts that also will be installed in the Linux machine. Log monitoring we will set up for the application by using ELK stack. That ELK stack, ELK servers, Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana, those servers also we are installing on the Linux machine. And log files hosting. For our application, several log files will be generated. When the application is running, log messages will be generated. Those log messages also, those log files will be stored in the Linux machines only in the real time. So in real time, every DevOps tool will be installed on Linux machines only. Docker server will be installed. Docker software will be installed in one Linux machine. That is called Docker server. If you install Docker software in one Linux machine, then it is called as Docker server. Kubernetes cluster setup we will do in the Linux machine only. SonarQube server we will set up in the Linux machine only. Nexus server we will set up in the Linux machine only. ELK stack setup we will do on the Linux machine. Log files hosting will be done in the Linux machine. And in real time, every software application will be deployed in the Linux machine only. Every software application will be deployed in Linux machine only. Okay. In real time, database server will be installed in the Linux machine only. In real time, database server, whether it is Oracle database or MySQL or MongoDB, whatever it is, in real time, database server software will be installed on Linux machine, will be installed in the Linux machine only. So because in the Linux, there are so many advantages available when compared with Windows operating system. That is the reason in the real time, every software, every server, every application will be hosted on the Linux machine. So both the developers and the DevOps engineers should know this Linux operating system, because tomorrow when you are working as if you want to get the job as a DevOps engineer, you should be very strong in the Linux machines. Why? Because tomorrow once you join in the company, they will ask you to set up Docker to Dockerize the application. So you should take one Linux machine, you should install the Docker software in the Linux machine. For that, you should have strong knowledge on Linux OS. They will ask you to set up SonarQube server for project code review. You need to take a Linux machine. In that Linux machine, you need to install Sonar server. And suppose if you are a developer, once you join in the company, they will ask you, today in our project there is some problem. Can you check logs of the application to identify root cause of the problem? That log file will be available in the Linux machine. Developers should know how to connect with that Linux machine, how to check the log file which is available in the Linux machine, and developers should filter exception messages which are available in the log file. For that, developers should know the Linux commands. Even software testers, when they are testing our application, they need to check the logs of the application. Even testers also should connect with the Linux machine to check the logs of the application. So that is the reason I'm saying that every software developer, every cloud engineer, every DevOps engineer, plus every software tester also should know Linux OS. So why DevOps engineers should know Linux? All the DevOps tools installation will be done. All the project operations will be done on the Linux machines. Why developers should know the Linux OS? Application deployment will happen in the Linux machine. Application log files will be available in the Linux machine. If developers want to see the logs of the application, they should connect with the Linux machine. For that, they should know the Linux OS. Why testers should know the Linux? So when the testers are testing the application, they need to check the logs of the application when there is a problem. For that, testers also should know Linux OS. Are you guys able to follow me? Could you please confirm in the chat box? Are you guys with me? Are you able to follow me? Is my voice, video, screen, is everything clear for you? Now, tell me, why this session, I want the session to be interactive, guys. So I'm first asking a question. DevOps engineers. Why DevOps engineers should know the Linux? Where we will use Linux in the real time? I want everyone quickly to comment in the chat box. Why DevOps engineers should know the Linux operating system? Why DevOps people should know the Linux? Could you please comment in the chat box? To install the servers, to set up the DevOps tools. Developers should know Linux OS. Why cloud engineers should know the Linux? Cloud engineers will set up infrastructure. Infrastructure means servers setup, database setup, network setup and all. That we are going to do with the Linux machines only. Why developers should know Linux OS? Why developers and testers should know the Linux OS? To deploy the applications, to check the logs of the applications, developers should know the Linux OS. To monitor logs of the application, sometimes in the companies, developers should deploy the application in the Linux machine. Sometimes the testers should deploy the application in the Linux machine. So that's why developers, testers, DevOps people, cloud engineers, every software engineer should know Linux OS. In the real time, in the project, our day-to-day activities will happen on the Linux machines only. Are you clear? So I hope you got the clarity why we need to learn the Linux OS. In the real time, our day-to-day activities will happen in the Linux machines only. Okay, then next one, sir, what are the prerequisites to learn Linux? What are the prerequisites available? What I should know to learn this Linux operating system? The prerequisites to learn the Linux operating system, presently nothing. Nothing is required. The only thing which is required to learn this Linux operating system is your time. How much time? If you spend 2 weeks of time with me, then I will make you expert in the Linux operating system. Your time and your interest to learn Linux. And third thing which is required, daily practice is required. So if you spend 2 weeks of time with this session, so this session will be there for 2 weeks of time. If you spend 2 weeks of time with me, then I will make you master in the Linux operating system. Whatever I know in the Linux operating system, whatever the operations I'm doing in my company on the Linux machines, whatever I am doing in my company with Linux machines, everything I'm going to share with you in these 2 weeks of time. The reason to give this Linux 2 weeks workshop free of cost, as you know, our YouTube channel crossed 1 lakh subscribers. So as part of that celebration, I am giving this course for free of cost. Not only this, few other courses also we are giving for free of cost as part of our 1 lakh subscriber celebration. So if you spend these 2 weeks of time with me, then I will make you master in the Linux operating system along with the shell scripting. So what are the prerequisites to learn this Linux? There are no specific prerequisites. Sir, whether you are from IT background, whether you are from non-IT background, whether you are from programming background, non-programming background, whether you are from DevOps background, doesn't matter. Even a 10th class student also can understand my Linux classes. Even if you invite any of your friends or your relatives who are studying 10th class also, those people also can understand my Linux classes. From that zero level, I'm going to start the Linux sessions for you, and which are very, very, very important to survive in our jobs. Because every day we are going to work with Linux machines as part of our professional life. Are you clear? So what are the prerequisites to learn this Linux? Your time, 2 weeks of time. And you should have real interest to learn this Linux. And you need to do daily practice. If you can do the daily practice, 1.5 hour session will be available. Then 1 hour practice if you can do, then that is sufficient. Are you guys clear with the prerequisites of this session? Are you guys clear with the prerequisites of this session? First thing, why to learn Linux? Every day, as a software engineer, we are going to perform our operations with Linux machines only. Every day, we are going to perform our operations on Linux machines only. So what are the prerequisites available to learn this Linux? No specific prerequisites, guys. Even 10th class students also can understand this Linux classes. You should have time, you should have interest, and you should spend some time for your daily practice. And one more thing that is important to learn this Linux here, AWS free tier account. Okay, so in order to do the practice, sir, how to practice this Linux topics which we are going to learn? So this course is not just a theory course, guys. This is theory plus practical. This is a zero to hero course for you. 2 weeks of time. How to practice Linux, sir? I have only one laptop which is having Windows operating system. Then how can I practice these Linux classes daily? So we are going to do the Linux practice by using AWS cloud. In the AWS cloud, we will create one Linux machine, that is virtual machine. With that virtual machine, we are going to do our daily practice. So to create a virtual machine in the AWS cloud, you should have one free account in the AWS cloud. How to create that free account in the AWS cloud? You no need to worry. I have already prepared one video how to create a free account in the AWS cloud. If you are already having that account, then no problem. If you don't have the account, I will give one video. Okay. So AWS account setup in 2 minutes. In the Ashok IT YouTube channel, I have uploaded one video 1 year back. 1,30,000 people already watched that video. In 2 minutes, you can understand how to create account in the AWS cloud. That video link I am going to add in the notes. Okay, how to set up AWS account? It is a free tier account only, guys. So I will upload these notes in the website. How to access these notes? I told you in the WhatsApp channel, I'm going to give the procedure to access this Linux class notes. Whatever the notes I'm typing every day after the class is completed, I will upload these notes for you. You no need to write down the notes when you are listening to the class. So give your 100% attention to class only. Don't write anything when the class is going on. Whatever I am typing, I will share this file with you. Okay, I have already prepared a beautiful Linux material in the PDF format along with images and all. I will share that material with you. You no need to worry about that. Okay, so if you just concentrate on the class, that is sufficient. Is it clear? If anybody don't have account in the AWS cloud, they should create that account before coming to tomorrow's session. Is it okay for everyone? Guys, able to follow me? I want the session to be interactive. You need to respond when I ask some question in the chat box. Perfect. So we are clear with the prerequisites. Then next one, what we are going to learn as part of this 2 weeks of time. Linux with the shell scripting course content. What we are going to learn as part of our 2 weeks of time. First thing that we are going to understand here, what is the difference between Windows OS and Linux OS? Sir, from last 10-15 years, I am using Windows computer. Why should I learn this Linux now? What are the differences between Windows operating system and Linux operating system, and why people will use Linux OS only in the real time? Why not Windows? What are the differences between Windows OS and Linux OS we are going to understand. Then after that, we are going to learn Linux VM setup in AWS cloud for practice. We need one Linux machine to do the practicals. Na? Those practicals, if you want to do, then you need one Linux machine. So instead of you are purchasing another machine, we can take one virtual machine in the AWS cloud. How to set up that virtual machine in the AWS cloud, we are going to discuss. Linux VM setup in the AWS cloud. And third one, we are going to understand Linux OS architecture. How the Linux operating system will work in the background. What is shell? What is kernel? How the Linux OS is working in the background, we will understand. Then we are going to discuss about Linux OS file system. How in the Windows machine you have C drive, D drive, E drive. So C drive means we will install the softwares in the C drive, D drive, E drive. We will do some partitioning of the storage. Okay. So partitions we are doing in the Windows machine to organize our files. In the C drive, softwares will be installed. In the D drive, our family photos, something like that you will keep. In E drive, your study materials, your examples, you will store like that. You will do some partitioning in the Windows machine. But when you go to the Linux machine, C drive, D drive, E drive, that a drive concept will not be available. Linux OS will have a different file system. So if you want to work with Linux machines, first you should have knowledge on that file system. Okay, we are going to understand that file system. Once you got the clarity on Linux OS file system, then we will start the practicals here, working with files and directories in the Linux machine. How to create a file, how to delete the file, how to create a directory, how to navigate from one directory to another directory, how to rename the file, how to write the data to the file, how to copy the data from one file to another file. Okay, how to print the data available in the file, how to see what all the files available, what all the directories available. Literally, we are going to play with files and directories in the Linux machine by using Linux commands. Okay, then once we are done with files and directories, then we are going to work with text filters in the Linux. Okay, text filters, working with text filters. I want to get the data available in the file. I want to get the data available in the file. So by using a cat command, you can get the data. I want to get only first 10 lines of the file. I want to get only last 10 lines of the file. I want to search for one keyword in the file. Okay, like that we are going to work with some text filters like cat command, grep command, tail command, head command, sed command. There are some in the Linux, everything is command. We need to work with the commands. So we are going to understand how to work with text filters in the Linux machine. Then after we are going to understand working with text editors. So in the Windows, we have Notepad to edit a file, but in the Linux, Notepad will not be available. So in the Windows, you can use any editor, text editor like Notepad, Notepad++, Edit Plus softwares we are using to edit the files, right? But in the Linux machine, that Notepad and all that concept will not be available. So there are some editors like Vim editor, okay? So VI editors will be available, nano editors will be available. We need to understand how to work with the text editors in the Linux. Once this part is completed, then we will understand the some administration part in the Linux like user management. How to create users in the Linux, how to set the password for the users, and how to add users to the group, how to manage users in the Linux machine, how to make user as an admin user in the Linux machine, how to enable password based authentication for users in the Linux machine, we will understand. User management and group management. Once that user management is completed, we will understand how to work with file permissions in the Linux. Okay, I have some files with some confidential data. I don't want other users to access my file data in the Linux machine, because in a project, multiple team members will be working with the same Linux machine. I don't want other team members to access my files available in the Linux machine. So then how to secure our files in the Linux? By using file permissions, we are going to understand. So once user management and file permissions are completed, then we are going to work with some networking commands in the Linux. How to download one file from the internet, how to ping the machines by using the Linux machine. Okay, so we are going to work with some networking commands in the Linux machine, and we are going to work with process management in the Linux machine. How to check? In the Windows, we have a task manager. In the Linux, we have a process manager. How to work with the process management in the Linux machine, we are going to understand. Once it is done, we are going to learn how to work with the package managers in the Linux machine. If you want to install any software in the Windows, you will go to Google, you will download the software, double click next, finish. Software will be installed. But in the Linux, no, that's not the process. In the Linux, if you want to install a software, then you should know a concept called package managers. M package manager, APT package manager, DBN package managers, RPM package managers are available. So with once you got the clarity on the package managers, then you can install the softwares in the Linux machine. For example, I want to install Java in the Linux machine. How you will install Java in Windows? You will go to Oracle website, you will download Java software, double click next, finish. Java will be installed. But in the Linux, no, it's not like that. So in the Linux, if you want to install Java software, then you should use a concept called package manager. What are the package managers available? How to work with those package managers, we are going to discuss. Okay, once the package managers concept is completed, then we are done with the basic commands that we need to use as part of our day-to-day activities. Linux. Then the real movie, second part, first part of the movie will be completed with these 12 topics. Windows versus Linux, how to set up Linux VM in the AWS, how to work with Linux machines, what is Linux OS architecture, what is Linux file system, how to work with the files and directories in the Linux, how to work with the text editors in the Linux, text filters in the Linux, how to work with the user management, how to work with the file permissions in the Linux, how to work with the networking commands, how to work with the process management, how to work with the package managers in the Linux. So with this, first part of the movie will be completed. Are you clear with my point? Are you guys clear with my point? So with this, first part of our movie will be completed. Okay. Then, second part of the movie. Second part of the movie is shell scripting. Okay, whatever the day-to-day activities we are performing in the project, in order to automate our day-to-day activities, suppose for example, I want to take my files backup every day morning at 9 a.m. I want to write some commands, 10-20 commands I want to execute in order to take my files backup. I want to perform system health checks on daily basis. Okay, I want to delete some temporary files available in the Linux machine on daily basis. Any work that you want to do on daily basis, instead of doing manually, we can automate our daily tasks in the Linux machine by using a concept called shell scripting concept. Scripting is nothing but a set of commands. So here we are learning from here Linux commands are going to start. From the part 5, we are going to learn the Linux commands. If you are executing command one by one, that is different. If you combine multiple Linux commands as one file and if you execute that file, that is called scripting. What is the purpose of this scripting? Especially DevOps engineers should know this scripting. Okay, so DevOps engineers, whatever the work they are doing manually on daily basis in the project, that work we are going to automate by using a concept called shell scripting. Sir, do we need to have programming knowledge to learn the shell scripting? Not required. Programming is different, scripting is different. So as part of this scripting, we are going to understand how to work with variables in the scripting. How to work with variables in the scripting. And we are going to understand how to work with control statements in the scripting. Like if condition, elif condition, while loop, do while loop, okay, for loop, control statements will be available. And we are going to work with functions like methods in the shell scripting. Then we are going to understand how to work with CMD arguments in the shell scripting. So in the Java and in the Python, we have some command line arguments. Similarly, in the shell scripting also, we can work with these CMD arguments. Once these shell scripting topics like variables, control statements, functions, CMD arguments are completed, we are going to work with cron jobs in the Linux. This is for scheduling. Okay, I want to schedule some work. I want to execute one shell script for every 1 hour. For every 1 hour, I want to take the files backup. I will execute one shell script for every 1 hour, not manually. I will schedule. So to implement scheduling, we are using a concept called cron jobs in the Linux machine. So by using cron jobs, we are going to implement scheduling in the Linux machine. So these topics we are going to learn as part of our shell scripting. Are you clear with my point? So with this, our second part of the movie also will be completed. So as part of these 2 weeks of Linux with the shell scripting, these are the 18 topics that we are going to learn. Are you guys clear? Are you guys clear with my point? Could you please confirm in the chat box what we are going to learn? Yep, I will share this file with you guys. No need to worry about that. I'm going to share this file with you. No need to worry about that. Whatever I'm typing, everything I'm going to share with you in our website. How to access these notes? You are going to get the process. How to access these daily class notes? I will send the details in our WhatsApp channel. Okay. So you can join in our WhatsApp channel to get the access. Yes, this notes is free of cost. You no need to pay anything. Okay. So daily classes you can join for free of cost, and notes also free of cost. You can download. You no need to do any payment. It's a free course for you. Got the point, guys? Yeah. So how to access these notes? I will share with you people in the WhatsApp channel. I have given channel link in the chat box. So please click on the link and follow that WhatsApp channel. I will send the message how to access this class notes. Okay, good. Yeah, perfect. Good, guys. So we are clear with why to learn this Linux OS and what are the real-time use cases of our Linux OS and what are the prerequisites available to learn this Linux OS with the scripting and what is our course content. I hope all of you got the clarity on what we are going to learn in the next 2 weeks of time. Okay, so every software engineer should have very good knowledge on this Linux operating system. So all the DevOps tools will be installed in the Linux machines only. Every application will be deployed on the Linux machine. Our servers, our database softwares will be installed on the Linux machines only. No prerequisites available to learn the Linux. If you have 2 weeks of time, if you are really interested to become master in the Linux, then you can join for this. Okay, so how we are going to practice this in our daily class? We are going to set up one free tier account in the AWS cloud. In the AWS, we will set up one Linux virtual machine. In that Linux virtual machine, we are going to do our day-to-day practice. It's 100% practical training, guys. It's not just theory. It is 100% practical training from zero to hero level. We are going to learn here. Good. How to create account in the AWS cloud? I have given video reference here. And course content. So we are going to learn all these topics as part of our Linux. Okay. So here we are going to learn Windows versus Linux and how to set up Linux VM, what is Linux architecture, what is Linux file system, how to work with the files and directories in the Linux, how to work with the text editors in the Linux, text filters, user management, file permissions, networking commands, process management, package managers, shell scripting, variables, control statements, looping statements, functions, CMD arguments, cron jobs, all these topics we are going to discuss. Okay. Yes, this is our ongoing DevOps with AWS batch. In that, we are teaching Linux and shell scripting. So I have given this as free of cost for our people as part of our celebration. Okay, cool. Let's get started with our actual discussion, guys. I hope all of you clear with this. Shall I proceed further? If you are clear with the content and prerequisites, please confirm in the chat box. Okay, so as I told you, the start date. So these Linux classes are started today only. And class time, daily, our class will be available from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. IST. 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. IST, our classes will be available. Okay, this duration will be there for 2 weeks of time. And course fee 0. You no need to pay anything. Okay, you can attend live classes for free of cost and you will get soft copy material also. Course fee is 0, no need to pay anything. Live classes are free and soft copy notes also I'm going to share in our website. How to access that notes? I will send that details, step-by-step process in our WhatsApp channel. And if anybody want to backup videos of this course, we are charging just 999 rupees for the backup videos. If you want backup videos with 1 year validity, we will host those backup videos in the cloud platform. So if you want backup videos, then 999 rupees you can pay. 1 year validity will be available. If you don't want backup videos, no need to pay anything. You can attend the live classes for free of cost. Same Zoom link will be available for 2 weeks of time. And soft copy notes also I'm going to provide for free of cost in our website. How to access it? You will get the message in the WhatsApp channel. I hope WhatsApp channel message I have shared. All of you following us in the WhatsApp channel. Okay, guys. Very good. Fine. Let's get started. Good. First, let us understand what is operating system. We are going to learn Linux, right? What is the operating system and why we need to go for this Linux operating system? Let us understand. Okay, guys. Good. So let us see some image here to understand operating system. What is this operating system and why we need to go for this operating system? Okay, good. So as we discussed, the real-time use cases of Linux. So in the real time, our Tomcat servers, our Jenkins servers, our Docker server, our Kubernetes, Nexus, SonarQube, ELK Stack, Ansible, Terraform, all these DevOps tools will be installed in the Linux machines only. So there are no specific prerequisites available, guys. We should have one account in the AWS cloud, that is sufficient. We will set up Linux virtual machine in the AWS cloud for our practice purpose. That's it. Okay. How to create the account also I have given the video. Course content already we have seen. Now let us understand what is operating system. So here operating system is nothing but it is one software that is used to access our computer hardware components. Operating system is a software, guys. So operating system is a software. What is the use of this operating system? This operating system is going to act as mediator between users and computers. You purchase one computer. You want to use that computer. If you want to use a computer, in that computer, OS should be available. That OS nothing but operating system. So it is going to act as a mediator between users and computers, guys. Without operating system, there is no use of any computer. If your computer or if your laptop or if your desktop does not have operating system, then there is no use. It's just like one box for you. Okay, so if you want to use a computer, then it's mandatory in that computer operating system should be available. Operating system is a software that is going to act as a mediator between users and computers, and without operating system we can't use any computers. Okay, so there are several operating systems available in the market, like Windows operating system, Linux operating system, Mac operating system, like that. There are several operating systems available in the market. Are you guys clear what is operating system? Please confirm in the chat box. You can just read the points. So we are purchasing a computer or laptops, desktops. So in that computer, hardware components, CPU will be available, RAM will be available. Directly we can't use that RAM. Directly we can't use a hard disk. Okay. So if you want to use the hardware components of the computer, operating system is required. That will act as a mediator between users and computers. So if operating system is not available, then there is no use of that computer. Now in the market, there are several operating systems available, like Windows operating system, Linux operating system, Mac operating system. Now, so let us understand what is the difference between Windows operating system and Linux. So every one of you using Windows operating system, right? So you have a computer, in that computer you are having Windows operating system, right? But let us understand what are the differences available between Windows operating system and Linux operating system. So the first thing is, guys, this Windows operating system developed by one company called Microsoft, our Bill Gates. Windows operating system given by Microsoft company, that is licensed software. If you want to use Windows, you need to purchase license of the Windows. Okay, that is paid software. Windows software, Windows OS developed by Microsoft company, and it is commercial operating system. It is paid operating system. Yearly license we need to purchase. Okay, and when you go for Windows, it is providing GUI, graphical user interface. What is the meaning of GUI? When you go for Linux machine, guys, when you go for Linux machine, everything we are going to perform with the user interface. With the user interface. That means if you want to create one file, you can right click on mouse and you can do new text file. A file is created. Now if I want to rename the file, I will right click, I will get rename option. I will get rename option. If I want to delete the file, right click, delete option is available. So that Windows is providing a graphical user interface to perform operations in the computer. Okay, that is called GUI based. Windows operating system is GUI based. GUI means user interface is available in order to perform operations in the computer. And this Windows operating system is called as single user based operating system. Nothing but at a time only one person can access Windows machine. Now I have laptop. I am using my laptop to take the class. When I am using my laptop, my brother can use the same laptop. I am taking an online class in my Windows laptop. Can my brother use the same laptop to attend his online class? No. So that means at a time, how many people can access Windows machine? At a time, how many people can access our Windows machine? At a time, only one person can access our Windows machine. So that is single user based operating system. It is single user based operating system. Only one person can access at a time. And these Windows machines are not that much good with respect to security. So there is a chance in the Windows machine, virus can attack our files, because in the Windows, softwares we are going to download and install in the .exe format. If you want to download any software, it will give you .exe file and you need to install that. With the .exe files, there is a chance of getting virus for our machine. So that's why we are going to install antivirus software in the Windows machine. That means security features are very less in the Windows machine. That's why antivirus is required for our Windows machines. So Windows is one operating system which is famous in the market, that is developed by Microsoft company. It is licensed OS. You need to purchase the license of that. And it is completely GUI based. So user interface available, that is one advantage. But disadvantage, it is single user based OS. At a time, only one person can access the Windows machine. And security features are very less when it comes to the Windows OS. And when it comes to the Windows, it is recommended for personal use. If you want to play some game, if you want to do some net banking, if you want to attend online classes, if you want to prepare some material, so everything we are going to do by using Windows machine. Our day-to-day personal activities purpose, playing games, watching movies, playing games, watching movies, preparing some materials, preparing some presentation PPT documents, attending online classes. For that kind of personal use cases, Windows is recommended. It is a GUI based operating system. Are you guys clear with my point? Are you clear with the Windows? Please respond. I want session to be interactive. If you are responding for my comments, if you are responding for my comments, then I will get more energy. I will get more interest to deliver. Windows is one operating system. It is developed by Microsoft company. And it is commercial operating system and it is GUI based. What is the meaning of GUI? Graphical user interface. So you can perform operations by using mouse. GUI. Okay, and Windows is single user based operating system. What is the meaning of single user based operating system? At a time only one person can access. I am using my laptop to take the Linux class for you. Can my brother use my same laptop for his activity to watch a movie? When I am taking online class in my laptop, can my brother use the same laptop to watch a movie? Not possible. It is single user based. At a time only one person can access. Security features are less. So that's why antivirus is required. So when to use Windows? For personal purpose. Watching movies, playing games, preparing PPTs, taking online classes, attending online classes. For that, Windows machines are recommended. Okay, now let's shift to my favorite operating system, that is Linux. Okay, so let's understand what is Linux. Linux is not belongs to any company, guys. Windows is belongs to Microsoft company, whereas Linux operating system is not belongs to any company. So that's why we will say Linux is community based operating system. Linux is community based operating system. Community nothing but public, not belongs to any company. Linux is free, no need to purchase Linux OS. But whereas Windows commercial, Linux free. That is the first difference. Windows OS belongs to one company, Linux OS not belongs to any company. Windows OS is a licensed operating system. Linux is a free operating system. No need to pay the license when you want to work with. No need to pay money when you want to work with these Linux machines. And this Linux is CLI based operating system. CLI based means everything is a command based. CLI based nothing but everything is command based. So in the Windows, if you want to create a file, how you are doing that in Windows? You will right click, you will go to new, you will click on text document. File is created. But the same thing, if I want to do in the Linux machine, we are going to use a command to perform that. Like this, a command line will be available. That is a CLI. GUI means graphical user interface. CLI means command line interface. Now we will open a command line like this. Using this command line, we will perform the operations. Creating the file, editing the file, rename the file, delete the file, print file data. Everything we will do by using commands in the Linux machine. That's why it is called CLI based operating system, command line interface. GUI means graphical user interface. CLI means command line interface. Windows is GUI. Linux is CLI. Are you clear? The difference between GUI and CLI? Now, so in the Linux, I want to create one file. How to do that? By using command touch f1.txt. That's it. A file is created. A file is created. Touch f1.txt. A file is created. So like this. In the Windows, you will use a mouse to perform operations. In the Linux, everything is command based. If you want to delete the file, if you want to edit the file, if you want to create the file, rename the file, copy the data from one file to another file, if you want to install a software, if you want to uninstall a software, everything is command based. So learning Linux operating system, nothing but learning Linux commands only. I hope you are able to follow me. Is my voice okay? Understandable? The pitch, the speed, are you able to grab the topic, whatever I'm teaching? I am trying to inject the subject into your brain. Is it going into your brain or not? If you concentrate on my class properly, you no need to open the notes also. If you give your 100% effort, if you give your 100% dedication to my class, you no need to revise the notes also. I know how to teach the subject. I am having almost 9 years experience in the teaching. I'm having almost 9 years experience in the teaching. I have seen so many people. If you feel I'm going speed, then please let me know. I will slow down and I will repeat the topic. Once you are habituated to my sessions, then you can't understand other faculty sessions. That mesmerizing will be there. Hypnotizing. Getting my point? How many of you attending my class for first time? Guys, some people are my old students, so they know my voice. So some people are attending my class for first time. Able to follow me? First class. So there are many people who are attending my class for first time. Good. Thank you guys. Thank you. So it may take some time for the new people to habituate with my voice because my face, my voice, my body language, everything is new for you. So give me 2 days or 3 days of time, then you will habituate to my voice. Then you will understand very easily. For my old students, no need to tell anything because they're already able to follow. For new people, so just give 2 days of time, you will be able to understand my voice. Because you are new to me, I am new to you. 2 days to adjust. Good. Thank you guys. So we are trying to understand what is the difference between, what are the differences between Windows OS and Linux. Linux is community-based operating system. Community-based nothing but it's not belongs to any company. It is free. Anybody can use, anybody can change. So community means it's free, public. Okay, it's free and open source. And Linux is CLI based, command line interface. Everything we will do with commands. Create a file, there is a command. Edit the file, there is a command. Install the software, there is a command. Uninstall the software, there is a command. For everything, we are going to use commands in the Linux. So that's why Linux is called CLI based operating system. And another biggest advantage with the Linux is multi-user OS. Multiple users can access one Linux machine at a time. My team member is installing the Docker in the Linux machine. In the same Linux machine, I can perform other operation. So multiple people can connect with one Linux machine at a time. Multi-user based machines. In the Windows, only one person. Whereas in the Linux, multi-user OS, nothing but multiple people can access single Linux machine at a time. That is the biggest advantage. What is the meaning of multi-user operating system, guys? Come on, please respond in the chat box. What is the meaning of multi-user operating system? Come on. Many users can access one Linux machine at a time. Windows, single user. Linux, multi-user. Okay, and security features are very high in the Linux machine. When you are going for Linux operating system, antivirus software is not required. Linux machines are secured, so they are very good to provide the security for your files in the machine. You no need for Windows machine, antivirus is required, whereas for Linux machine, antivirus is not required. Okay, and here when it comes to the Linux machine, Linux machines are not for personal use, guys, to watch the movies, to play the games, to attend the online classes. No, Linux is not recommended. Linux is recommended for business. Install a server, deploy your application, install database server, keep the log files of the application, install Docker server, install Jenkins, install SonarQube, install Kubernetes, install ELK, set up Terraform, set up Ansible. All these kind of project related operations, business operations we are going to do with the Linux machine, whereas Windows machines are used for personal use, Linux machines are used for business use. Why? It's community based operating system. It is a free and open source operating system. Everything is command based and multiple users can use one Linux machine at a time. Security wise also they are very good when compared with the Windows. So that's why in the IT industry, more demand is there for Linux machines. When you join in the company will give you one Windows machine. Why? For personal use, to write the emails, to prepare the documents, to join the company meetings. For those activities, Windows machine will be available. But project operations we will do on the Linux machines. Company will give one laptop for you. Company will give you one laptop for you. So in that laptop, Windows OS only will be available. But your operations will happen on the Linux machine. By using Windows machine, we will connect with the Linux machine and we will do our project day-to-day activities. How to do that? That we are going to learn. So first point, I hope you are clear with this. What is operating system? Operating system is a software that is going to act as a mediator between users and computers. So if you want to use any computer, OS is mandatory. Without OS, you can't use any computer. There are several operating systems available in the market. So mainly we are talking about Windows and Linux. Windows OS is developed by Microsoft company and it is paid software. You need to purchase the license. It provides GUI. So people can use Windows machines easily because of its user interface. GUI will be available. With mouse click, we can do so many operations in the Windows. And it is single user based. Only one user can access at a time. Security features are less in the Windows and it is highly recommended for personal use. Okay, then coming to Linux. Linux is community based operating system. That means it is not belongs to any company. It is a public OS. Okay, it is free and it is open source and it is a CLI based. All the operations we will do in the Linux machine by using commands, CLI based OS. Okay, and it is multi-user OS. Multiple users can access Linux machine at a time. Are you clear with my point? Okay, and it provides high security. Security features are very high in the Linux machine. You no need to install antivirus software. And Linux is highly recommended for business use cases to set up our servers, to deploy our applications, to set up DevOps tools, to set up log files. Okay, for all those project related operations we will do with the Linux machines. Okay, I hope you got the clarity on what is GUI operation and what is CLI operation. In the GUI, if I want to create a file, what I will do? I will right click, new text document. File is created. So similarly, if I want to create file with the CLI, I will use a command, touch command f2.txt. So if you execute touch command to create a file, that means it is CLI operation. GUI, CLI. Windows supports GUI, Linux supports CLI. You got the clarity? Very good. Fine. Now, I hope you got the clarity on Windows versus Linux. So when to use Windows, when to use Linux? Could you please respond in the chat box, all of you? Are you with me? Are you guys with me? Yeah. When to use Windows and when to use Linux? Windows for personal use and Linux for professional use. Windows is for personal use, Linux is for business use cases. All right, now let's understand who developed Windows developed by Microsoft, Bill Gates, we already know that. But who developed this Linux OS, how this Linux OS came into market? Okay, Linux history. Who developed this Linux and how this Linux OS came into market? Let us try to understand. This Linux operating system developed by one person, his name is Linus Torvalds. Okay, who developed this Linux operating system, guys? Linux operating system is developed by one person, his name is Linus Torvalds. So who is the author of the Linux OS, guys? Could you please tell me? Who is the author of Linux OS? Could you please tell me? Linus Torvalds. Linux OS developed by one person. His name is Linus Torvalds. In which year? In which year he developed it? In 1991. Okay. Now, how he developed this Linux operating system. So earlier, this Linus Torvalds was using one operating system called Unix operating system, guys. Earlier, this Linus Torvalds was using सुशांत भाई नींद आ रहा है क्या आराम से सो गया भाई he is sleeping in the class गाना गा रहा है क्या मैं am I singing a song people are feeling sleepy no okay good. So Linux operating system developed by one person. His name is Linus Torvalds. His name is Linus Torvalds. Okay. Now this person was using before Linux there was one operating system called Unix operating system was available. Okay, so he used that Unix operating system and he found some challenges with the Unix operating system. Then he told to that company, boss, I was using Unix operating system. I found some challenges with the Unix operating system. I found some challenges with the Unix operating system. Can you make some changes to Unix OS? Like that, he gave some suggestions to Unix OS. Okay, he gave some suggestions to Unix OS. Okay, but those people did not accept the changes which are given by this Linus Torvalds. Then what this guy has done, this person identified that there is one Linux OS available in the market. He has downloaded the source code of the Linux operating system. He made some changes to Linux operating system and he released into market as Linux operating system. So before this Linux, there was one OS called Linux. This Linus Torvalds downloaded the source code of the Linux operating system. He made some changes to that Linux operating system and he released into market as Linux. How he gave the name as Linux? If you see from Linus Torvalds, he has taken two characters Li. From Linux, he has taken three characters called NUX, then he named it as Linux OS. His name is Linus. So there is some small spelling change I need to do here. Linus. His name is Linus Torvalds. From his name, he has taken two characters and from Linux, he has taken three characters and he named it as Linux operating system. He downloaded source code of the Linux operating system. He made some changes to the Linux, whatever the changes he want, he made those changes to Linux and he named it as Linux OS and he released into the market for free of cost. That's why it is free and open source, community based, not belongs to any company. Linus Torvalds is just one person. He has downloaded Linux operating system source code. He made some changes to that. According to his requirement, he made the changes and he released into market. How he named it as Linux? From Linus, he has taken first two characters. From Linux, he has taken last three characters and he named it as Linux OS today, which is trending in the IT industry. He got inspired by Linux OS, taken the source code of the Linux, made some changes to Linux and released into market as Linux. So that's why we are saying Linux is community-based operating system. That's why it is called as community-based operating system, not belongs to any company. So now you understand that something is available in the market for free of cost. What people will do? If something is available for free of cost in the market, then what people will do? First of all, Linux taken Linux code, changed it, released into market as Linux. When this Linux Torvalds released Linux operating system into market, so many companies downloaded Linux OS, modified it, released into market with their own brand names that are called Linux distributions. For Linux OS, there are so many distributions are available. So Linus Torvalds given Linux OS as free and open source because he already copied from Linux. He made changes to Linux, released into market as Linux. So he has given for free of cost. Then he has given for free of cost. What happened? So many companies released their own flavors of Linux. So Linux OS code I will download. I will make some changes. I will release that as Ashok IT Linux. Yes or no? So that's where many companies released their own flavors of Linux. So we are having Amazon Linux, Red Hat Linux, Ubuntu Linux, CentOS, SUSE, Kali Linux, Fedora Linux, like that. There are so many Linux operating systems available in the market. Sir, what is Ubuntu? What is Red Hat? What is CentOS? What is Fedora? These all are Linux operating systems only. So why these many names available for the Linux? As I told you, Linus Torvalds has given this Linux OS code to the market for free of cost. Then what people has done? People downloaded the Linux OS. They made the customization for that. They have done the changes in the Linux OS and they have given their own brand names and released into market. Those are called Linux distributions and we can say Linux flavors. So first, how Linux came into market? How Linux OS came into market? Linus Torvalds downloaded Linux OS. Kushal, there is nothing. He downloaded one operating system. That name is Linux operating system. Linus Torvalds made some changes to the Linux OS and released into market as Linux OS. He copied, he made changes, he released into market as Linux. When he released into market for free of cost, what other companies has done? Other companies downloaded the Linux OS directly. They made the changes to Linux OS they released into market with their own brand names. Those are called Linux distributions. We are having 100 plus distributions for the Linux operating system. That means 100 plus companies downloaded source code of the Linux. They modified according to their requirement. They released into market with their own brand names. Amazon Linux, Red Hat Linux, Ubuntu Linux, CentOS, SUSE, Kali, Fedora, Debian, etc. 100 plus Linux distributions available. So you can use Ubuntu Linux, you can use Amazon Linux, Red Hat Linux, Kali, Fedora, SUSE, any Linux. All are Linux operating systems only. But these operating systems coming from different companies. Amazon company downloaded the Linux. They made some changes to that. They released into market as Amazon Linux. Ubuntu, people downloaded that, made the changes, released it as Ubuntu Linux. Red Hat Linux. What is the meaning of Red Hat Linux? Red Hat company downloaded the Linux OS, made some changes to that, released into market as Red Hat Linux. Fedora, SUSE, Kali, Ubuntu, CentOS. Like this, there are 100 plus distributions available. You can use any distribution. In this course, I'm going to show you Amazon Linux, Red Hat Linux, Ubuntu Linux. First three distributions we are going to see in our course. Oracle Linux is also available. IBM Linux is also available. Are you guys clear? There is only one company which is selling Linux OS machines. That is Red Hat. RHEL, Red Hat company is providing commercial Linux OS. They downloaded the Linux, they made some changes, they are giving commercial Linux operating system, which is called Red Hat Linux, RHEL based Linux machines. Remaining all are free of cost. Are you able to follow me? Which company is providing commercial Linux machines, guys? Which company providing commercial Linux machines? Red Hat. RHEL based Linux machines. Okay, how many distributions available for Linux? 100 plus distributions are available. What is the meaning of Linux distribution? A Linux OS from different companies. So he is the founder of Linux. Who is the founder of Linux? Linus Torvalds. How he developed Linux? Using which operating system he developed Linux? Linux operating system. So many companies downloaded that Linux OS project code and they modified it. They released into market with their own brand names. Those are called as Linux distributions. We can call them as Linux flavors also. Do we have Windows distributions in the market? Do we have Windows distributions in the market? No. Why? Windows is licensed. We don't know the code of Windows. Microsoft commercial software. That's why. So other companies cannot make the copy of the Windows. It is commercial, licensed. Source code not available to modify. But Linux is free. Code is available. That people are modifying and releasing into market with their own brand names. In Red Hat, some extra features available and support will be provided by Red Hat. That's why they are charging. Red Hat people are charging money because they are giving additional features. They are providing the support and all that stuff. Are you guys clear with my point? Yeah, good. So I hope we got the clarity on what is the difference between Windows operating system and Linux operating system. Okay, what is the difference between Windows operating system, Linux operating system, and how Linux OS came into market? Okay, and what is the history of the Linux, and who is the author of the Linux, and what is Linux distribution? Those concepts we have discussed in the today's session. Okay, in the tomorrow session, we are going to understand how to set up one Linux machine in the AWS cloud and how to connect with that Linux machine from the Windows and how to do the practice that we are going to discuss. Okay, so for that, guys, everybody should have account in the AWS cloud. In the tomorrow session, we are going to create one account in the AWS and we are going to set up a Linux machine in the AWS and we will do the practicals. So please create account in the Linux, in the AWS cloud. So this video reference I am giving. Okay, so create the account and set up a Linux machine before coming to tomorrow session. How to create that Linux machine in the AWS, for that also videos available. In the live class also I'm going to show you how to connect with the Linux machine from Windows, how to connect with the Linux machine from Mac OS also I'm going to explain. You don't worry about it. So for today, you just create account in the AWS cloud and that is sufficient. Okay, how to access this class notes and how to access the backup videos. I'm going to share that details in our WhatsApp channel. WhatsApp channel link I am going to provide in the chat box. If anybody not following, please follow. The people who are watching in YouTube, you can find the WhatsApp channel link in the description. You can join for that. Okay, so if you want to get the notes immediately, you just need to log in into Ashok IT website and you enroll for this Linux course. So if you don't want backup videos, it is free of cost. If you want the backup videos, then you can pay 999 rupees. Let me show you how to access the notes also. Just go to Ashok IT website, guys. Here, if you don't have a account, you create a new account here. Okay, if you already having the account in this website, you just need to log in into our website. Once you log in, you go to a option called enroll for course option. So here you select option called Linux. Okay, so then you can see Linux free batch available. Click here to enroll now. If you want backup videos, it will ask 999 for payment. If you don't want backup videos, you select as no, then the payment is 0. You click on proceed to payment, then course will be available for you. Then you can click on view class notes. I will upload the class notes for you. So the people who are having a videos access, they can watch the backup videos also. So in the website, you can directly enroll for the course. Log in into website, enroll for course, select Linux free batch, click here to enroll now. So if you want backup videos, you can proceed to pay with 999 to get the videos. If you don't want videos, select it as no, then it is a 0. Click on proceed to payment, then you are able to access the notes. Then you can access class notes from here. So this is the process. I will send these steps in our WhatsApp channel also. How to access this live class notes. Are you clear with my point? Are you able to understand how to access the class notes in our website? Good, guys. Thank you. Yeah. Now, anybody having any questions? You can post in the chat box. Mr. Ram, you are asking a question. What is official community for the Linux? What do you mean by official community, man? I did not get your point. Yeah, Unix is paid operating system, Linux is free. Yeah, notes I will upload in the website. Good, thank you guys. I will share the notes. Popular distribution, Red Hat. In the companies, people will use Red Hat. Yeah. WhatsApp link I have given in the chat box. Official information regarding Linux. Official information in the sense? For every Linux distribution, there is an official website. So in that website, you can get it. Suppose if you go for Red Hat website will give you the official documentation of that. If you want Ubuntu websites will be available. Ubuntu company based websites. If you go for Amazon Linux, Amazon people will provide official information for you. Okay. Why security is there in the Linux machine? Security is available because in the Linux, we are not going to install the softwares directly with the exe files. Because of the package managers, Linux is going to check for the vulnerabilities. If there is any vulnerability, it will not allow you to install the software. Okay. So due to the package managers concept, they are providing the security for Linux machines. Python course, currently it is not available. When the Python course will start, you will get the update in the WhatsApp channel. Good. Vahini, no. The answer for your question is no. For 32 DevOps people, no need to pay backup videos. You will get the Linux backup videos as part of your DevOps course. Sumit, I already told you, with package managers. Classes will be there from Monday to Friday. Yeah. Classes are there from Monday to Friday. Unix is separate, Linux is separate, Linux is separate. These are three different operating systems. Two weeks, sir. This course duration is 2 weeks. What is the difference between Linux and Ubuntu? There is no difference between Linux and Ubuntu. Ubuntu is one of the Linux flavor. Ubuntu is one of the Linux distribution. No difference between Linux and Ubuntu, sir. Ubuntu is one of the Linux distribution. Spring Security separate Zoom link is there, Yogesh. You can find Spring Security Zoom link in the website. It will start on this Saturday. Yeah, you can download and install Linux direct operating system in your machine. Tomorrow I will tell you how many ways we can set up Linux operating system. Okay, cool. Yeah, in the AWS account setup, you need to provide your PAN card number. Yes, sir. You can give PAN card number, no problem. Thousands of users are using AWS accounts, so no need to worry about that. It is a secure platform you can share. Chaitanya, yes. Linux administrator. After this course, if you spend another 2 weeks of time, then you can learn Linux administration. These classes, not for the Linux admin role. These are for normal DevOps engineer role, normal developer role. These topics are sufficient. This is not Linux administration. Good. Fine, guys. Yeah, Janvi Chandrika, you can create new account with a different mail ID. Good, guys. I have another class now. We'll meet again tomorrow. So your doubts I will take up in the tomorrow session. Thank you. Have a great evening. Bye bye. We'll see you tomorrow. You can attend the class with the same Zoom link tomorrow. Bye bye. Take